Hello, hello, hello. You have reached today Tanya Barbie of I Am Still a Rose. In spite of it all. In spite of it all. In spite of divorce. In spite of betrayal. In spite of domestic violence. In spite of illness. In spite of lack of love. In spite of abandonment. I'm still a rose, and you are too. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am so sorry I'm late, you guys. I had to take my son to choir practice tonight, and they're gonna sing behind Bishop Smallwood at First Baptist Highland Park this Sunday. So that's a big thing. John, I have already invited you. I have a that's joining us today, and his name is John Clement. He is a great friend of mine, and he is also my graphic artist. So we're going to bring him on. Hey there, Anthony, and we're going to talk about dating. Hello, John.
Hi, Tanya. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Wonderful. I am doing very well. I'm so sorry I'm late tonight. I just don't like being late. I feel so unprofessional.
I
But here
understand.
I am.
You're here.
And yes, and we're going to talk. Hello everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to talk about dating and the do's and the don'ts of dating. There's so much out here. I'm doing a lot of research. I've also taken a class from a friend of mine, a colleague of mine who's also working with me on some new events, some upcoming events. And her name is Nakia. I'm sorry. I just reached out to a Nakia. Her name is Nikki Honorando, and she is a dating expert. So I've taken her class, and we're going to share some things about that later on. But um, got a lot coming down the pike, you guys. I'm very excited about some things that we're doing, and so I'm doing a lot of research, and I'm also out there dating. So I'm learning through that. And as I was telling my great friend John, who's on with me tonight, I'm journaling what I'm experiencing. So without further ado, we're going to talk about dating. I have John Clement here, and he is a graphic artist. And he's also my bud. We always talk about issues. We do podcasts together. We did a
Hmm.
great one last night. Was it
Yes.
last night?
Last night.
And it was awesome. So you got to hear it. His podcast is called
I
about
just don't know.
I I just don't know. And it's so awesome, you guys. So we got to really get into this and really enjoy it. So enjoy, be engaged, and let's get started. So John, you want to start us off?
Sure, I will start us off. So basically, we're talking about the do's and don'ts of dating. So, um, you know, I think whether you're single or whether you're married, you still should date. Date your spouse, date your girlfriend, but there are rules to dating. So, we
That's
want to,
that's a great point.
so we want to talk a little bit about, some of the do's, don'ts, some of the things you should do as a woman, don't do as a woman, do as a male, or not do as a male. Um, so, we got quite a few, so we'll just go ahead and get started. So for me, I feel like the first one is don't look for perfection. Um, we going out and dating, we kind of put on our best face, if you will. We try to be that perfect person, and look for that perfect person. So I think one of the first tips would be, don't look for perfection because you're not perfect. Um, make sure that everybody has flaws, everybody has hangups or irks and quirks and things that bother them or may be wrong with them or they feel is wrong with them. So don't look for that perfect person. That perfect person does not exist. Does not exist.
I agree. I agree. And before we go any further, John, I want to make sure they are aware that we're going off of an article that we both read, the a Glamour article about the do's and don'ts of dating.
Yes.
And we're pretty much covering these. And I told John that I didn't agree with many of them, but I certainly agree with the first one because when you're dating, you shouldn't be going out there looking for somebody perfect because if you look
Hmm.
in the mirror, you realize you're not perfect. So
Exactly.
why would you think that you're going to find someone that's perfect? And what is perfect?
Exactly.
That's another thing you got to figure
I
out.
think I
What do
think
you
if any,
consider
if
perfect?
anything, we're perfectly flawed.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know,
Perfectly
and
flawed. I
then you
like
just have to
that.
be honest with it. Um, people should know that there's no perfect person, that we all have flaws, but you just got to be honest about who you are, and move forward with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, do expect to meet men in unexpected places. Now, I do agree with that one.
Hmm.
You might meet them at the grocery store. You might meet them in the parking lot. You might meet them at the gym. You might
Right.
meet them after leaving the gym when you're all smelly and your hair is jacked up.
Exactly.
Um, and the same vice versa. A man might have not got had a chance to take a shower, and he runs into at the gas station
Hmm.
and says, "Wow, she's it. I
Right.
just know it. I got to
Right.
get her phone number." So you never know where you're going to meet this special person. So just keep your options open
And
and understand that you never know where they're going to be.
exactly. And be prepared. Like, even if you're not prepared, be prepared. Like you said, you may be
Exactly.
coming out of the gym and you're sweating, and your hair's in a ponytail, or you're a guy and you got the towel around your neck or whatever, but be prepared.
Exactly. Be prepared. And my grandmother always said, make sure you have some nice underwear on. But okay, I had to go there, y'all. I
My aunt
reached
used to
too
say
far.
that too. My
But
aunt used to say that.
you're really, yeah, make
Yes,
sure. But they said it from a standpoint of had to had the doctor you're gonna be seen by the ambulance or something,
exactly.
and they didn't want you to know you hadn't changed in a few days. So um but we're not talking about we shouldn't be into underwear yet. So that's further down,
Right,
okay?
right,
That's further down the list.
right.
Anyways, um you wanted to cover the next one?
Sure. Don't assume that the person is not interested in you, which is so true, because you may think that this guy is, you're standing there trying to get, vegetables and fruit in the grocery store, and the guy's standing over there squeezing the melons, and you think he keeps looking at you, and you're like, nah, he's not interested. He's this perv or whatever. But he might be actually interested in you, and may want to come up and say something to you. So don't think that, and going back to what you said about, coming out of the gym and your hair's in a ponytail, and you're in your sweats and you feel like you look like crap. But he may see the beauty, in you through all that, and still want to come up and talk to you, and don't like think that, oh, this guy's not interested in me or whatever. He may actually be, and vice versa. She might be interested in you as a guy.
Yes. Now, I agree with that one. You never know where that connection is going to take place.
Right.
Um, there is there's another one that says, "Do be confident and make the first move." Now, this one, I'm hoping it was intended for a man. I think that women who make the first move, I think there's a detriment to the relationship up
Hmm.
front because you making the first move, how do you know that this gentleman, this man is interested in you in the first place? You don't want to be in a relationship with someone and you find out 8 months down the road, I didn't want to be bothered with you anyway. You you got with me first.
Okay.
You made the first move. I wouldn't have even given you the time of day.
Wow. I think it depends on the man. I feel like this particular tip or do is geared toward the woman because it's basically saying, some men prefer a woman who makes that first move, and they feel like it kind of takes the pressure off the guy a little bit, and he doesn't feel so self-conscious when the woman comes up, and it doesn't deflect or take away from the fact that she's a woman, and just because she's coming up to him and making that first move or making it having that starting that conversation, it doesn't take away from her or make her look like she's chasing him. It just kind of takes the pressure off the guy a little bit because he may want to say something to her, but he might be a little shy, and she may see that. So to take that pressure off and kind of ease that tension, she'll make that first move. And be honest, some
Well,
guys see that as a little bit of a turn on because you're like, okay, she's been a little forward, which I like. That that shows me she has some assertiveness. She has some gumption about her, and it shows that she's kind of a take charge type of woman if you got the right man.
well, I think, and you may not. So you have to be really careful about that,
Sure.
ladies, because um, I'm from old school. Women are supposed to be pursued, not the man is supposed to be pursued by the woman. There's if you take away that chase, what's left? That's just how I feel.
But I don't
I
think you
am
take
not
away the
gonna
chase.
approach a guy.
I don't think you take away the chase because I think there's still a chase. It's not that the woman is chasing the man. She's just making that first initial step. After that, the chase is on from the guy. But because men have been so turned down by women that they feel are out of their league or too much for them or bougie or whatever it may be, they feel like I can't approach this woman. She's gonna turn me down. So by that woman kind of knowing that this man is eyeballing her, she's eyeballing him, she's making that first step. Now it makes it easier for him to pursue her because he now knows she's actually interested in him.
If by chance he actually starts pursuing, because he might be that type of guy who says, well, she started it, let her finish it.
That's true. That's very true.
And then she's waiting for the magic, and it never happens because he's waiting for her to continue with the magic
Mm.
because she started with the magic.
Yeah,
So you
true.
got to be really
That's
careful
true.
about
That's
that
very
one.
true.
And I'm a firm believer. I'm not doing the chasing. Now I'll help in the relationship once he makes that initiation, but after that it won't come before that.
Right, right. So
Yeah, that's how
Santino made a comment and said, yes,
that's my
correct.
nephew.
Okay, she can't find a king. The king's supposed to find the queen.
Yeah, he's been he lived with me growing up. He's he learned from the best. That's a man's responsibility to pursue his queen, not sit there and wait like a what is a bump on the log,
Right.
and just sit there and wait. I understand the shy ones. I understand the
Hmm.
introverts. I got that, but you got to show some kind of um initiation that you're interested in this person.
Yeah, I agree.
You right, baby boy. No, I'm not chasing anybody. This I am a complete lady. I'm complete. I'm to be pursued, and ladies are supposed to be pursued. They're
Yeah,
not supposed to
I
be
agree.
running. And if they look at their lives right now, just reflect on what's going on, and they're out here dating. If they see themselves picking up the phone, calling all the time, pursuing even conversation before the man even has a chance, those are not going to be successful relationships.
Hmm.
It's just not going to work out.
That's a good point.
So, okay, the next one is, ooh, that's a good
And
one.
yeah, that's a good lead in.
Um, yes, do make it easy for men to date you.
Mm-hmm. But
Wow.
that's what I was
Like
just
you
talking
just
about.
said,
Yeah.
yes, guys have a fear of rejection. If you make it easy for them to ask you out, they're more apt to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Making it easy means telling a man in the clearest terms that you are interested and wouldn't say no to dating. So that means you got to be open. You
Got to
have to
be
be
open.
willing. You have to show that you're interested. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be in there with your nose up in the air.
Exactly. Playing
You
hard to
can't be
get.
like your arms folded. That's
Mm-hmm.
poor body language. You really
Right.
have to watch your body language. You
Exactly.
really have to watch your body language. Um, so I agree with that one. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, and this one I really agree with. Don't go out in one huge group. Um, I'm not a big fan of group dates from a standpoint of if it's couples and the couples already know each other and they're going out on, couples type date. But
Yeah.
the thing I always remember going out when I was younger was it would be this guy going out and he'd go to the club and he'd approach the female and the female would be with three or four other women. And it's like it's
Right.
intimidating because he can't walk up to this woman and ask her to dance or say something to her unless he's just uber confident. But it's going to be more difficult for him to walk up to her and she's got a squad of women standing right there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that whole huge group, I don't like that.
Yes. Yes, and I agree with that. And for some reason, women who are in groups are more apt to say no. I don't
Mm,
want to dance with you.
right.
If they're so because they don't want to make it appear that they got offered a date or got offered a dance and they
They
didn't.
didn't. Mm-hmm.
So they'll sit back and say, "No, I'm not dancing right now. Oh no,
Right.
I'm hanging out with my girlfriends."
Girlfriend. Yep.
So that does put a lot of pressure on the guys.
Yep.
And the best way to alleviate that is don't be in a setting with 10 girlfriends.
Yeah.
That's just overkill if
Exactly.
you're out there to meet
To meet
somebody.
somebody. Right.
Yes. Now, if you want to go out a night with the girls and you don't want to meet anybody, that's
Mm-hmm.
something different.
Right.
Do you and have a good time doing so.
Exactly.
Um, don't worry about his age. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Right. Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay, R. Kelly.
Right.
Okay. I don't agree with this one, but what I like about it is I think they're saying it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
date older and for women to date younger men. If you want to do it, just go do it. Take a chance
Right.
and see how. Don't worry about what people say.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about how you feel.
Yep.
Yes.
I agree. But I will
Okay.
say that as a caveat to that is don't worry about the age, but worry about the maturity level because you can have someone
Yes.
who's younger but still very mature. So even though the age may be, they may be 5 years, 6 years younger than you or older, there are some older people who are immature. So you just
Yes.
got to watch
I
out for that
agree.
that maturity level, regardless of the age.
Yes. I agree with that. My nephew says shows interest when you speak to her in front of her friends. Yeah, that shows a lot of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
like John says, because a lot of men are not going to do that.
Right.
But is she mature enough to receive that? Oh wow, this guy has to be confident. Do you see
Right.
what he just did?
Exactly.
So, but that's good to note that. You want to read the next one? My screen has just
Let's
frozen.
see. So the next one says, let me go down a little bit. Where am I? Okay, so the next one says, do put a friend in charge of finding you a date. Now, how do you feel about that? Would you trust your
Um,
friend to find you a date? Do they know you that well?
I have one girlfriend who just recently said to me a few days ago, "Oh, Tanya, I just met this guy I know you would have loved. He was your type." So she told me why she felt he was my type. So the thing that came to my mind was, well, why didn't she do it?
True. True.
So I've never had that happen, and I don't feel that I have a girlfriend like that would do that, let alone me trust them to do that.
Mm.
So, but I bet you there are a lot of women out here that have girlfriends that they would
Now let me ask you
appreciate doing
this.
that for
Would
them.
you, on the flip
Hmm.
side of that, would you trust a guy friend to find you a date more than a girlfriend?
Yes, because I have closer men friend than women
Okay,
friends.
okay.
I have more of them than I do of women, and yes, I would trust
I
that.
think that's the same, from a man's point. I think he would trust a woman more because from a guy's standpoint, he's gonna recognize, oh, this dude's a player, or this dude's, he's playing games, he's not serious, because he's a guy, so he can recognize, game recognize game. So he's gonna see, oh, okay, no, this guy ain't right for you. But then he'll go over to this guy and be like, okay, this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. He might be some good potential. And on the flip side, if a female is looking for a date for me and she knows me, she's gonna weed out the riffraff. She can be like, nah, she's playing games. She got baby mama drama. She ain't serious. She's immature. I think if you got a good enough friend and a female as a male, she's gonna find you somebody that's right for you.
I
You know.
agree, and that's a good thing about opposites.
Mm-hmm.
We can trust them more, and I agree with you on that
Yeah.
one. I think you're right on that.
Now,
So,
what do
what's
you think
another
of this
one?
next one? Like, don't limit don't limit your online dating searches. So basically,
Don't
they're
limit
saying
them.
cast your net out wide, like get on as many as you can, and don't limit yourself. So as opposed to just going
Um,
on one site and just depending on that one site, take three or four or five and put yourself out there and kind of spread your net a little bit more.
and they also meant by that is broaden your search.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a 6'3" guy, can it be a 6'0"?
Right, right,
I'm sorry. Instead of a 6'0", could it be 6'3"? On the opposite side, can they be 55 instead of 50?
right, right.
So broaden your search because you never know. Just going a little bit more to the left and a little bit more to the
Mm-hmm.
right, that could be your ideal mate.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
true.
don't limit yourself by honing in on your desires. Just go out a little bit further because you never know
Mm-hmm.
who's going to be in
That's
that
right.
in that on that site that you would be interested in.
That's so true.
So what's the next one?
So the next one is, and this kind of falls in the same line, don't pretend to be someone you're not, even online.
Yes, because that person is going to fall in love with that person online,
Mm-hmm.
not the real deal. If you're not being who you really are when you're dating this person
Right.
online, when they finally get a chance to know you and you're totally somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, then you falsified the information
Exactly.
and they're not going to be interested in you. And you really have that at that point, the relationship is
Yeah, and
fraudulent.
that's when you end up, that's why catfish, you know, people getting catfished because they're
Yes.
thinking they've got a certain person that they're meeting online and they're talking to online, and this person says, "Oh, I'm," you know, the woman says, "Oh, I'm 5'5" and I got a Coke bottle and I look like Halle Berry, and then you meet her and she
Right.
looked like Mom's Mabley, and you're like, "Wait a minute, hold up, what happened?" Like, so you can't pretend to be somebody that you're not because it's gonna come out. It's people are gonna find out eventually. They're gonna find out.
Exactly. So be yourself. And if you start out online, why wouldn't you be yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That should be where you're the most comfortable because you don't even know this person yet. And if they can't like you the way that you are,
Mm-hmm.
you can weed them out
Right.
and move on.
Exactly.
It's so you have no, you should not even think, oh, I need to be this way, I need to be
Mm-hmm.
that way, I'm going to tell him I'm this when I'm really not.
Yeah.
And then you meet up and they're like, wow, not just on a physical aspect, on just on everything, emotional,
Mm-hmm.
mental. You know, you say you got 4 kids when you know you got 8.
Right.
You just be for
Yeah.
real, be straight up, because you're you should be thinking, take me or leave me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love yourself enough anyway,
Right.
that should make it more easier to do that, to be yourself.
Right. But the only way you can say take me or leave me is if you are um, honest yourself. Because if you're not honest
Yes,
yourself, then you can't come in and say take me or leave me when you're not even real yourself.
absolutely. Well, that's why I said you need to be loving on yourself first.
Yeah.
Then you're qualified to say that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're qualified to say that if you have done the work
Mm-hmm.
to get you right.
Right.
You can say, take me or leave me, because there's somebody else out there that I know is going to be interested. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Be gone
Right.
and start over. So be yourself,
Yeah.
be who you really are.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Do give people permission to want or not want you.
Same thing we just talked
Yep.
about.
Yep.
Yes,
Exactly.
don't force it. But you said you were going to call me. You said we were going to go out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
No, if he didn't call you, if he didn't follow through, those are indications that
He's
he is
not
not
into you.
into
Yep.
you. Close the door
Yep.
and keep it
Yeah.
moving. Do not force
Do
it.
not force it.
Allow him in if you appreciate him and you want him in. But if he doesn't want to be in and he's giving you all these stipulations, he's not the one.
Right. Yeah. Now, have you ever had anybody that was like you dated them and they were a show off? Like they talked about all the accolades or how much they've accomplished or how much money they got, like just to show off.
Yes, a lot of times that person is insecure and need all of the accolades to impress others,
Mm,
because without all of that they feel like they're nothing.
that's true.
So they need all of that, and they think that will impress you, when they don't know half the time women that I know would like you just for you being you.
Right.
And all that other stuff is okay, but because in most cases they have accomplished all that
Mm,
stuff, so they just want a good guy.
right.
So if he drives up in a Jaguar or drives up in a Mustang, oh, they don't make Mustangs anymore. Drives up in a Maxima. To them, the what matters most is it's a good person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but we don't like show
Yeah.
offs.
Unless now I've seen
Yeah.
some younger ones and they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're interested in that kind of stuff. Like the guy knows that these younger girls may be blown away by the fact that I got a nice car, I got a Mercedes, I got a Jaguar, you know I got a house, I got money, blah blah blah, I work at this place, and sometimes he feels like, well, I can impress the young girls with that, but a mature woman won't fall for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. And those young girls who have not positioned themselves to have all those things
Mm-hmm.
yet, they are the ones that will be more in tune to be impressed by that.
Yeah.
Carlos says, my nephew Santino, consistency, materialistic is the word you're looking for.
Mm, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Very good point.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
next one is be nice. Do be nice to everyone.
Yes.
That's I mean, that's pretty
Yes,
cut and dry. You may have somebody that you're not interested, but you still got to be nice to them.
I agree. Now, to a standpoint, don't waste your time defending your position.
Mm,
Don't waste your time. It's okay to be nice, but if you share your position, like, I don't want to have sex until I really get to know you,
mm-hmm.
and they force the issue,
Right.
you don't need to be nice to that person.
Okay. Okay.
Just move on. That person didn't value you enough to respect your position.
Mm,
So you don't owe them to be nice. You just close that door
okay.
and keep it moving.
Okay. I can see that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. The next one says, do tell a friend when you want, and this is an important one. Do tell a friend when you want to be more than friends. How do
Hmm.
you feel about that one?
Do tell a friend when you want to be more than friends.
So
I
so if
think at
I'm
some point, if you do it too early,
right,
you're going to run the person
that's
away.
true.
But don't do it too late,
Mm,
because you can be dating for 5 years and then you say, hold up, what's going on? How long we going to do this?
right.
And they take off running.
True.
So you have to do that at some point, but the best way to do that is to ask questions early on.
Right.
What are your
What are your
goals in life?
expectations? Right.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want to be friends? Do you want to casually date? Do you want to see where it
Right.
goes? What are your intentions?
Mm,
You can ask that up front.
absolutely. Yeah.
But be careful about how you ask. Don't be writing his last name on a napkin and showing it to him. Because you run somebody away doing that.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Yeah. I think, like you
Exactly.
said, it's about
Hello,
intent. It's
Prince.
about intentions. Like if I don't know we're dating and we're friends and I decide I want to be more than friends, if you're not at that place, then it's gonna make me look dumb by saying, you know what, let's take this to the next level. And then you're like, well, I'm not really feeling that. Or but if I know your expectations or if I know where we're going up front, then there's no hard feelings. We both know where we are, and then we can either move forward together or move forward apart.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But you do have to have some kind of understanding up front what
Mm-hmm.
expectations are.
True.
But that's a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
But what you don't want to do is assume anything.
Exactly. That's
I
so
have made
true.
a lot of assumptions in my life. Do not assume that that person wants to be in your life for eternity just because he's in your life
Now,
now.
right? Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard people say that. Some people are just in our lives for a season or a reason.
Yes,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. So the next
What you
one,
got?
now I don't know how you feel about this one. This one says, do go on a date with someone that you feel so about.
Yes, I agree, because that so can turn into Lord have mercy.
That's true. That,
Woo!
that is so true. That is very
So
true.
you just never know. So
So,
so don't, you might not have that warm fuzzy just yet, but give him a chance.
so let me
Give
let me
her a
ask this. Let me
chance.
ask this because I'm gonna step on your toes a little bit.
All
So we
right.
know who we're talking about. There was a person that you felt so about. Why
Right.
didn't you give them a chance?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
okay.
Again and again. And each time, Lord have mercy. I did.
Okay, okay. I give you that. I give you that.
Yes. So, and I felt I was nice.
Yeah, you were nice. You were nice.
Yeah. Yes, I really did try, and I had an open mind, and I will give a person the benefit of the doubt, because I will not judge
Mm-hmm.
at all, because of who am I to judge,
Right.
you know? But when you keep surprising me over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
at some point, come
Good
on.
surprises or bad surprises?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah. So
Yeah.
somebody that you feel so about, you're like, okay, it could be some potential. Maybe I'll give it a
Yes.
shot. Okay.
Exactly. And give it more than one time of a shot,
Right.
because it might take that fourth or fifth time before you come to the conclusion that no, that person is not for you. You
Mm.
should listen to your first
Right.
judgment, or wow, he is all right. I'm
Yeah.
glad I went out with him for five
Right.
times.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one says, do allow yourself to be wooed.
Yes.
Okay.
You just can't do. Women are doing so well, thanks be to God. We got good jobs, we got education, we got
Mm-hmm.
the homes, we got the houses, we
Right.
got the cars,
Right.
we got the money, we got our kids doing well. So we want to do the same with the man and mold him and go get him, and our assertiveness on the job, we want to apply that in a relationship too.
Hmm.
So where does that leave the fellow?
Right.
Where what room, what wiggle room does he have if we're dictating, if we're controlling everything?
Exactly. That's so true. That's so true.
He's just like a robot. Okay, we're going over to so and so's cookout today. Yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
going here today, and then we're gonna plan for a trip on so and so. Oh, okay. And next thing you know, he's like tired of you.
Yeah.
He's got a mistress now.
Mm.
Or never wants to marry you. He marries the woman who has none of that,
Right.
because he's the man in that relationship.
Yep. Exactly. So it's like allow yourself to be treated like a lady. Like the song says, treat her like a
Yes.
lady. Let
Yeah,
him
don't
open the
don't
doors.
lose that.
Don't let him pull out the chair. That kind of
Yes.
stuff. Not don't be so
Don't.
independent that you lose that ladylikeness that to let him be
Absolutely.
the man.
Yes. You're dating, you're online dating.
Mm-hmm.
You calling every day. Wait till he calls you.
Right. Yeah.
What why are you calling him?
Mm-hmm.
Wait till he calls you. And then you got the nerve to not only call his cell phone, now you calling his work number.
Oh wow.
You're determined to get in touch with him, when all you were supposed to do when you do call is leave a message.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously not available.
Right.
So what you gonna do? Call every number the man then gave
And call
you?
back to back to back to
if
back.
if
Yeah.
if one doesn't work, leave it alone and wait till he returns your call.
Mm-hmm.
But do not be making all the phone calls. Allow yourself to be the lady that you are, and wait
Yeah.
for him to call you. If he does not call you, he is not into you, and
Yep.
just move on.
That's true. That's so true. So now, have you ever like talking about first dates? Have you ever been on a date where the guy just wanted to like go all out on the first date?
What do you mean all out? Do
Like,
everything on the first date?
well, from a standpoint of like, oh, let me take you to this expensive restaurant. Let's go to this, Broadway play. Let's go to, this place and get, 14 karat gold flake ice cream for dessert. Like just really trying to not showboat, but just really trying to over impress by like over complicating the date.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think they don't mean any harm. They're
Right.
just trying to impress you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that means they really do like you. And a lot of times men will do all that just to have sex.
That's true. That is very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the woman needs to still cut it off.
Hmm.
I don't care if he take you to Chris Steakhouse and then take you out clubbing, and then take you out to breakfast, and then take you out somewhere else, then take you out on the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
Um Still say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really lovely night tonight. and go in your house and let him go in his.
Right. Yeah. But I
All
think
that does not dictate coming in my
that's
house,
true.
going in my bedroom.
That's true. I think men try to overcomplicate, like you said, to try to impress. Keep it
Yes.
simple. Dinner. I don't recommend movies on first dates. That's just me. But I feel like dinner, dessert. I feel like getting dessert at a separate place from dinner is my recommendation. I don't like getting dinner at the same place you get dessert because you got a little bit more. You got a different atmosphere. There's a little bit. It
Yeah,
lengthens the date. So go to a nice restaurant,
that's
get some
nice.
dinner, and then go somewhere, coffee bar or somewhere, and get a dessert and coffee.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a great idea.
yeah,
I like that.
I don't like first date
Yeah.
movies because you're in a dark environment. You're not talking because you're watching the movie. So how can you converse and learn about each other if you're watching a movie?
Well, I tell you one thing about a movie. I think it could be really nice if you like the person. And you can also test the person too. For instance, if you're a woman and you go out to the movies, first date, second date, and the lights are off when the movie's over, and he's already down the steps, he's a selfish bastard.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Don't date him.
Right.
He left you. He's down the steps telling you to hurry up. It's dark. You can't see. You about to fall over everybody.
Right.
And I went through that. A really really good looking
Mm.
guy went to my high school reunion and had all the ladies mad at me. Um, but I was no longer interested in him after that
Mm.
because he couldn't even hold my hand to help me get down the
Right. Right.
steps. And so, how was he going to protect me if he can't
Mm.
protect me in a movie theater?
Right.
How was he going to protect me in life?
Mm. That's a good point.
So we were done.
That's a good point.
We were done. So you could test whether somebody cares about you in a movie theater,
That's true.
um, by going to on a first date at a
I
movie.
still wouldn't. I still wouldn't do it. That's just me. I think movies are more like third or fourth dates. If you've gotten, because that first
Yeah,
date, maybe coffee or dinner or whatever, maybe even the second date. But I feel like I'm going to get to know you a little bit more. I want to have a conversation with you as opposed to us both staring at a screen and not talking other than just minor commentary
yeah.
about that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. But you can also be engaged about that movie after the
But here's
movie.
my thing. Why do women always
Hmm.
got to test a man?
Oh, come on, y'all test us all the time.
No,
Don't go there.
no, no,
Yes, you do.
no.
If you take us to Ruth Chris, it's
Ruth's
Ruth
Chris.
Chris
Mm-hmm.
Steakhouse, and then you take us out to the waterfront. You hold hands and eat some ice cream. Then you go out for coffee. Then you take her to our house, and she said, "Why don't you just come on in?" Oh, come on in. And you gonna come on in all dumbfounded. You get in there, she work it on you. You may not you might think, "Whoa, wow, I know it was gonna be like this." And you might, what would you think of her? What would you think of her first date after you did all that spending money on her and she took you in the house? What would you think after
I'd be
that?
like, I got my money's worth. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding. I'm kidding.
John.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm
wow.
kidding.
John. No, you're
I'm
not.
kidding. No, for me, I'm not the type of person that I'm very particular about my space, my home space. So I don't
Right?
bring everybody to my house. And I feel like the woman should be the same way. Like this is my sanctuary. This is my kingdom. And I'm very particular about what comes through that door. So if I went through all that and then she's like, well, you want to come up, I might come up, but it's not going to be because I'm wanting to have sex or that expectation is there. I'm like, okay, you know, we can have coffee or we can chit chat or whatever. But it just depends on the situation. In some cases, I may not come up. Depends on if it's like 1 in the morning. No, I'm not coming up because I know what that means. But
Right,
if it's
right.
if we're done and it's 10 o'clock, yeah, I'll come over. We'll sit on the couch, chit chat, whatever, and I'm out. But
Right.
no,
Well, that's
but I'm not.
nice.
I mean, everybody's
Yeah,
not going to
but
do that. Everybody feels like that
absolutely.
invitation in is an invitation in,
Yes.
which is and not necessarily the case.
Absolutely. Yes. And my nephew says we test too. He said he still tests his own wife.
Wow.
You know you're gonna go up, and he's saying you when you go in the house, you know you're gonna go up. I guess referring to
Upstairs,
upstairs.
right?
Typ- Typically, I believe men would, like you said, you jokingly, they're gonna get their
Money's
money's
worth,
worth.
right?
They're gonna get
Yeah,
reimbursed.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Hmm.
I see where that would be.
My
So
nephew said, "You know, you spending the night."
now I'm not gonna say I haven't. I may have
Right,
done that in the past, but when I
right.
matured and learned and knew better, then I did
Yes,
better. So yeah.
right.
Um.
Yes.
So let's see. The next one says, "Do let's see. Do let go of your day's frustrations before a first date."
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Don't be in there. You should have seen what my boss said to me today.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this, and I got a migraine. I don't
Mm-hmm. I
even know
hate
why
my
I'm out
job
here
and
with you.
I do all the work and
Yeah, I
nobody
can't
does
stand.
anything.
They be talking about me at work,
Yeah.
and don't nobody want to hear. And I gotta go. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow because I might need surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't want to hear all that.
Right. Yeah.
Keep it positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it positive.
that's the easy one.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a one I think more so for the ladies than the guys, but it says don't go overboard on dressing sexy. I'll let you take that one.
Yes. I had introduced my old boss, who's also a mentor of mine, who's also like a big brother now. I had introduced him through my church, a woman, and he fell in love with her, apparently. And he had one of his annual Christmas parties, and she came in with a her cleavage out
Hmm.
at a works Chris a work Christmas
Right.
party. And no, you don't call them work, you call them office
Office
Christmas
parties. Yeah.
party. And and he didn't want to be bothered with her after that.
Hmm.
It was like he was done.
Wow.
All the boobies were hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we really shouldn't leave something to be desired.
Yep.
Don't show it
And
all.
yeah.
Don't you shouldn't have to. If you're secure with who you are, you don't have to show your body
Right. Yeah.
parts. Just leave that to be just something to be desired down the
Yep.
road.
Leave something
Just
to the imagination.
let it build up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let that be built up for a later time. But not first few dates. Oh,
Right.
I know he's gonna like me when he sees this outfit.
Mm-hmm. Um, so the next one is, and I think this is again for ladies, do wear shoes that are comfortable because you never know what the expectation for the date is. He may be going to walk through the park. He may want to
Yes.
go rock
Yes.
climbing.
Now don't be wearing your flip flops,
Right.
and
Yeah.
don't be wearing your grandma flat. I got a girlfriend who says I'll be wearing grandma shoes because I wear a thicker heel than typical women
Hmm.
do. Um, they should be comfortable, but make them look presentable.
Sure.
Don't be wearing your grandma
Right.
heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because like I said, you never know. You got to be able to improvise. You never know what he may say. Okay, you know what? You told
Yes.
me you were adventurous, so we're going to go to this rock
Right.
climbing building or whatever, and we're going to rock climb, or we're going to do something adventurous. And now you got on
Yes.
6-inch stilettos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
And be careful about those stilettos because a lot of times they they mean one thing to men.
hmm,
So be really careful about wearing those because I'm sure a man when he sees those, his vision goes somewhere south.
you really think so?
There, yes, and there's a time and place for
True.
that.
That's true.
Yeah,
Um,
he's already there, and y'all just met.
good point.
So be careful about your
Yeah.
shoes.
That's a good point. The next
Mm-hmm.
one says, don't booze it up with a new guy.
Right. Don't get drunk.
Hmm.
Don't get toe up.
Right.
Don't have three
You
drinks.
shouldn't be doing shots with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, to show you can keep
Yes.
up.
Exactly. Be very careful about that.
So the next one, and I don't know, this one's kind of a difficult one because it says, do learn to really listen to the man sitting across from you on a date.
Yes.
So
Pay attention.
I think, I guess it just depends on if he's just talking or is he asking questions. Because I mean, he's going to tell you
Both.
what you need to know about him. The more he talks.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if it's because I've been told I'm talking on a date and I'm asking questions, and I was told after the date, we really can't see each other anymore because I felt like I was on an interview, and I was like, well, you kind of were. That's what a first date is. You
Right.
know,
I agree.
I'm asking questions, you're asking questions, we're getting to know each other to know
Absolutely.
if it warrants a second date.
Absolutely. And if they were offended by that, they're certainly not the ones.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
keep it
Keep
moving
it moving.
because there's nothing wrong with asking questions to get to know
Yeah.
somebody.
That's the way I feel about it. How else am I going to get to know you?
Exactly.
All right. So the next one, I'm going to skip down a little bit. It says, do flirt. How do you feel about flirting?
Yes. Just don't go overboard because you go overboard, it could be an insinuation that you want to go to the bedroom.
Okay.
So don't overdo
Right.
it. And watch with the eye contact. Don't stare too long because that could also mean the same
Mm.
thing. Um Flirt, but just don't go
No, overboard.
overboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think flirting is ladylike. It's fun, it's
Mm-hmm.
non-threatening, and it's letting the gentleman know that you're interested in him, but just don't
Don't
go
go overboard.
overboard.
Yeah, that's true. So now when you go out to eat, because the next one says, do order what you really want. So when you go out to eat, are you conscious of, well, I don't want to spend too much of his money, or do you like, I'm eating?
I'm gonna get me two entrees. I'm gonna get me the chicken and the steak.
Wow, you're getting the surf and the turf, getting it all. Yeah, give me the lobster and the steak. Wow.
But actually, I do think about their pocket
Mm,
because I've heard so many horror stories of women ordering everything
right.
and then taking it
Oh,
home.
wow.
Yeah. And I've heard that from like six different
Oh,
men.
man.
Friends of mine that told me about that. They call them horror
Right,
dates.
right.
And where they were deliberately buying more than they could eat.
Mm. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, within reason. I mean, I feel like we're gonna order an appetizer, we're gonna order an entree, maybe have a drink or two, and possibly dessert. So I'm kind of expecting
Right.
like I already know in my mind as a guy, okay, now I've already gone. Now this is just from a guy standpoint. I'm sure other guys do this too. If I say I'm going to take you out to a restaurant, or a guy tells you, Tanya, let's go out to eat. I'm going to take you to uh, TGI Fridays, let's just say. Best
Right.
believe he has gone, because I do it every time. He has gone to the TGI Friday website, looked at the menu, and said, okay, the most expensive thing she could get is XYZ. That's $23.
Right.
So I know at
Mm-hmm.
most $23 for that entree. We're gonna do an app. Okay, we can do this app or that app. The most it's gonna be is $15. Or if she orders a drink, the drink's gonna be $8. She might get a couple. So in my mind, I'm already calculating that this is $120 dinner. So when I come
Right.
there, I'm like checking my account. Okay, I got 150 in the account. I'm good. So when we go to the
Yeah.
dates, if you this is and I'm telling you this is how guys work. If you they look at what you order, they're looking at the menu.
Right.
When you say, I want the ribeye with potatoes, they're like, okay, that's 27.95. So that means whatever I order must be less than $27.95. They're not going
Right.
to order something more expensive than you order. I can almost guarantee anytime you go out, if you're looking at the menu when they order, anything they order will be less than what you paid, what yours cost.
Now, why is that?
It's just a monetary consciousness, I guess. So they're saying, okay, I know how much money I got for this date. So if she orders something 27 and she's getting the steak, okay, I'm gonna get the chicken tenders or I'm gonna get the pasta. And the pasta's only $17, $18. I can make that up with a drink or two. That puts me at about $30. So that's $60. Plus I gotta leave a tip. That's 18%. That's another 6 or 7. So this is going through a man's mind the whole time he's out with you on a dinner date. That's what we do. We're
Really
figuring out what it's going to cost us for this entire day.
interesting. I would think they would be thinking about what happens after the date.
No, not necessarily. Now they might be
Really?
thinking about, okay, well, if I leave here, like I've gone on blind dates, and I'm thinking I don't know anything about the area, so I'm looking at places. Once I go to the first place for dinner, I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, let me spot a place that we can go for dessert. So I go. I'm like, okay, dessert is going to cost me $25 max. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking about these things throughout the whole evening, before the evening, during the evening, and even after the evening. I'm looking at, okay, I spent $91 on this date. There's going another $25 or whatever is going to come out for a tip. So we're thinking
Hmm.
about that. We're not necessarily thinking, oh, I'm getting her into bed after this. This now some do think that,
Right.
but I think the
Right.
majority are like they're so busy in their mind figuring out or trying to make sure that you're enjoying yourself and that you're getting what you want, that's why
Hmm.
we always let you order first, because we want to know what you're getting so we can figure out, okay, then whatever. And now if you just don't care, then you're gonna order what you want to order. But most guys are gonna order something that's less expensive than what you ordered.
Interesting. But you're also letting her order first because that's the
Gentleman thing to
gentleman
do,
thing
right?
to
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good. Good to
yeah,
know.
definitely.
All right.
um
What you got?
so the next one is do pay attention.
Yes.
Guys notice when you're
Pay
interested.
attention to
Right.
everything. Not just the conversation, mannerism,
Mm-hmm.
what he says. If he says, "Oh, that old B, I can't wait to see my kids, but I can't
Mm,
stand that B," and
mm,
he's talking about the
right.
ex-girlfriend, know that you can be that B in a few months.
That's true. That's very true.
Hmm.
And
So pay attention. Don't get so impressed
yes,
without being
that's
intuitive
right.
at the same
That's right.
time.
And I've seen people or talked to people. Actually, I've been with people on dates, like double dates, where the guy is so like selfish. He's like, they bring bread out on the table. He's like killing it, like not giving anybody an opportunity to get any. He's eating off of her plate. Like, you gonna eat that? You want that? So he's like eating her food, and I'm like, dude, like, let her
Right.
eat her plate. Let her eat her food.
Yes. Yes.
But so you got to be conscious
Yes.
of that too. Like, we went out with this dude, and they'd be like, that N word. He ate all my food. He
Yes.
wouldn't let anybody get any
That's
bread or
right.
whatever. So it's like you
Hmm.
gotta you gotta pay attention to stuff like that, because that's
You
if it does
do.
if he
You're
does it on the
they're
first date, he's gonna
yes.
do it every time.
Absolutely. Be careful how people be alert as people show you
Who
who
they
they
really
really
are.
are.
That's right. That's what Maya
Yeah.
Angelou said. She said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So the next one, I don't know if this is a male thing or a female thing. It says, don't ask the 5-year plan question too soon.
I agree.
Yeah,
Don't ask the 5 year, but ask what their goals are.
yeah,
Because if they're honest with you, they may include their 5 year plan.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do look for red flags.
Yeah, like we just talked
Yeah.
about. The guy who not holding my hand to go down the steps at the movies.
Mm.
The man not valuing you, not wanting to have sex. Pay attention to that,
Right.
because if they don't value how you feel, they're thinking about how
They
they
feel
feel,
right. Yeah.
and that means they're self-centered, they're
Hmm.
selfish.
Yeah. And then
So yes, pay
even
attention.
to something like being rude to the waiter, things like
Yes,
that. I mean, those are red flags.
they're red
Yeah.
flags that it's just a matter of time and you're next.
Now let me ask you this: when you go on a date, or you find like you say, okay, I've accepted this date from a guy. Do you Facebook stalk them, or do you Google search them?
No, but before I get serious,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many applications out there. You just put in a name and it'll tell you everything about that
That's true.
person, which I'm sure people are doing about
Oh, I'm
me.
sure.
So I think in this day and age, I think you should do that, because you don't know who people are
Would you
nowadays.
tell them that you did it?
Most of those Lifetime movies are true.
Would you tell them that you did?
No, it's none of their business.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. We got clever like men. We're growing up.
Right.
You don't have to tell everything.
That's true. So when you're on a
Hmm.
date and you like the date, everything's going well, do you like gently touch him at all? Say if he tells a joke
Um,
and you like touch him on his arm or whatever, do you do that kind of thing?
Maybe so.
Just
Yes.
casually?
Yeah. Uh huh.
Okay.
Yes. That's a way of flirting
Right.
too.
Yeah. That lets him
Yeah,
know you're
and
interested,
also
that you're
yes,
you're
and
paying attention.
a gesture that I'm interested in and I like you.
Right.
Yes. Instead of sitting there with your nose up in the air,
Mm-hmm.
like you just don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
So the next one says, don't, and I've heard a lot of people do this, don't talk about your ex.
No, don't bring it
Yeah.
up. It's not necessary. It's your ex. It's your past.
Hmm. I've heard a lot of people
Now
don't
they
do
may
that.
ask you, yes, it just seemed like it goes with the territory, but it really doesn't. It's your past. You need to get over it.
Hmm.
This person could start judging you
Right.
based on what you tell them about your
That's true.
past, your
And
ex.
I've even heard people say, and I don't know if there's anything wrong with it for them to have this, to be friends with their ex, but you don't necessarily have to tell the person you're on a date with, oh, I'm still friends with my ex.
Yes, right.
I've heard people do that
That
too.
yeah, that's inappropriate. If you want a new friend, you don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, don't do that.
This one says, do be aware of time.
As far as don't be out too late.
Um, yeah, saying like, this is what it says. It says when you're on a date, one of the ways to know it's going well, if you guy you are connecting, is as the date is wrapping up, if you're thinking, where did the time go? Versus, oh my God, I'm so glad this is over. So it's saying, I guess you're saying be
Right.
be
Oh,
cognizant
yeah.
of time. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I agree with that one.
Okay. Um, do read into the first kiss.
Yes. I agree.
Okay.
A lot of times though, people are nervous.
Yeah.
So that first kiss might be a lot of
Right.
nerves. Um, so I would say the second kiss.
Okay. Okay. The second date kiss. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
do accept that the date is not a relationship. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't expect him to be your man after y'all sat down and ate
Right.
dinner.
He's still a stranger.
And don't expect you to be all
Right.
that he sees you as his woman after the first date.
That's true.
Because it could be he's done with you after the first
That is
date.
very true. Yes.
So just take it as a date
That's it.
and
It's just
don't
a
get
date.
caught up in it. Keep your feelings
Keep them in
locked.
check. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. Um, don't be a friend with benefits if you want a relationship.
Yes, don't think that, oh wow, when he get a whiff of this, he ain't gonna want to go nowhere. That is so not
Yeah,
true.
that is very
Every
not true.
woman has the same thing.
Right.
Yes, it may work different.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you might have a few tricks,
Right.
but it is the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
And don't think that you could do the do the whammy jammy on him
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden he's yours for life.
Right.
He is going to ask you, he's going to propose the next day.
Right. Right. You're sadly mistaken.
Doesn't the very seldom does it
Right.
happen like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And like you said, it's, you know, if you're wanting if you're wanting a relationship, do a relationship. Like, don't just be like, okay, we're just gonna be,
Yes.
sex buddies and that's it. And,
Right.
ask for the relationship if that's
Cuz
what you want.
y- yes, cuz if you're just sex buddies, you may end up continuing to be just sex
Right.
buddies. And then he may one day announce to you he's getting married to someone
That's
else.
true. That is very
So
true.
be very careful when you're thinking, oh, this sex buddy thing is going to go to the next level.
Hmm.
It may never go anywhere but right where it
That
is,
le-
a sex
that
buddy.
leads to the next one. Don't expect anything if you sleep with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. Um,
Just wait.
and
Just
and
wait. Take your time.
exactly because most men, if not all men, can separate sex from emotion. So they can have
Yes.
sex with you and, like you said, go home to their wife or go
Yes.
home to their girlfriend or, just not have any emotional connection to that. It's just an act for them.
Absolutely.
Um,
And that's something that women need to be very, very cognizant of is the fact that because you have sex doesn't mean he fell in love with you.
mm, that's true.
You may have fallen in
Right.
love because you've had sex with
Mm-hmm.
him, but very seldom does that make him fall in love with you.
Right.
The sex made him love you at the time. He may even tell you he loves you
Right.
at the
Yep.
time, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's telling the truth. That is the worst time to ask even a man, "Do you love me?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's on top of you. So be really careful about separating the two, love and lust,
Right.
because they are very separate.
Very much so.
Two different things.
This one says, don't talk yourself into a relationship. If they said if it doesn't feel right, then it's wrong. Relationships shouldn't be complicated,
Absolutely.
and it shouldn't take convincing yourself someone is good enough for you.
Yes.
And that's what happens.
Yes. And we have a tendency because we're
Mm-hmm.
lonely that we force something that's not there,
And
and we force something that's wrong
yep, I've seen that happen,
just to be in a
I've
relationship.
seen that happen, especially when a child's involved. I've seen,
Yes.
the person thinks, oh, well, we have a child together. That automatically means we're supposed to have a relationship. And that's
Yes.
not necessarily the
Yeah.
case. That doesn't mean we're supposed to be married
No.
because we have a kid together. So yeah, I've seen
Absolutely.
that happen firsthand.
Mhm.
This next one says, do stop asking for love advice.
Do stop asking for love
Right.
advice. What do you mean? Who you
So it
asking?
says when you ask for 20 people's advice on what to do in a particular situation, you can become paralyzed by information overload and end up going against your best judgment. Just
Yes.
go to one or two close friends when you need a hint of love up from the love department, or even ask yourself if you need advice at all. Most of the time, you probably already
Right.
knew what to do.
Absolutely. We a lot of times we go to our friends to see if they're countering
Mm,
what we already know.
yeah,
But we already know whether it's good for us or it's bad for
yeah,
us. A
you
lot
already
of
know.
times we ignore it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. Now this is a good one when it deals to the times that we're in. But it says don't text. How do you feel about texting?
Yes. Well, someone that I met. um we were texting a long, a lengthy conversation, and he said that I was brass,
Mm,
and it was based on something that I had said, based on something he had said. And I was like, brass. I had to look at 12 different definitions before I got to one that was
right.
complimentary. And I thought about it and I said, wow, when I read what I said, it could have come across that way.
Mm,
And when you're dealing with two smart people and they're texting, you are going to get some mixed
right.
information. You're gonna get some emotions that weren't intended to be
Yeah.
emotions.
Things
Just a
get lost in things
comment.
get lost in translation.
Yeah, so you got to be really careful about that. And we should not get lazy. We should just pick up the phone and
Yeah.
talk. And if there's too much texting, the person's not
Not
interested in
interested.
you.
Yep. That's so true. Because
Yeah.
I've sent text messages and it was in all caps. And they're like, "Why are you yelling?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize my
Yes,
cap locks were down." You know, so it's like things can
exactly.
get misconstrued to where they think one thing, and
Yes,
it's like, no, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean it that way. But if you're in the text,
exactly.
you don't
Yeah.
know the emotion behind it. So, like you said, pick up the phone, talk to
Yes.
somebody.
Yes. I have a nephew, matter of fact, is this nephew's brother. And when he texts, he's a rapper. He does do full caps.
Mm,
I don't like to text him
right,
because I feel like he's fussing at me. Even if he's saying
right,
good morning, Aunt
right.
Tanya, I'm like, how dare he talk to me this way?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I agree. So I say keep texting to a minimum, but
Yeah,
again, test the
right.
waters. If this person's always texting you, never returning your call, he's not interested in you. What he's doing is holding on to you for days that when he has some downtime,
Mm,
he'll get with you, but his interest is somewhere else.
wow. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. So I'm going to skip down to the last one, and it says, "Do have a life outside your relationship." Yeah,
Yes. Otherwise, you're sitting by the phone.
right. And if
You're
they
waiting.
leave, they say goodbye.
Yeah,
You're lost.
you're stuck because a lot of times women get so caught up in their new relationship that they
Hmm.
forget their girlfriends. So when dude disappears, the
Right,
girlfriends are like, no, you're not coming over here now. You dissed us for
right,
6 weeks
right.
and now he's gone. Now you want to be our friend and go hang out with us
Hmm.
again. Never lose sight of what you do with your girlfriends because you have a new boo in your life.
Right, right.
And it's good for the boo to know that you do have a life outside of
Outside
him.
of it, yeah.
So yeah, never discount what you had before this boo came into your life. And if you didn't have anything in your life going on, you shouldn't be with a boo, period, because he's going to
All
consume
your
all your
time.
time
Hmm.
because he felt you didn't have anything anyway. So when you do decide to be with girlfriends, he's going to be like, "What are you doing?
Right,
You don't
right.
be with them, you be
You've
with
been with me
me."
all this time. Yeah,
You he
yeah,
exactly. So you got to be careful about that.
yeah.
Hey Ronnie, where you been?
That's so true.
Ronnie coming on all late and stuff.
Right.
But yes, so capping all this up, recap as they say, we women need to take it slow.
Hmm.
They just need to take it slow. Be themselves.
Right.
Appreciate who they are. Go in healed. When you
Hmm.
go into a new relationship healed, you don't talk about your
Right.
ex. They're not your psychiatrist. They're not your shrink. They're not your therapist. They don't need to hear about your woe is me
Hmm.
situation or your woe is me experiences. Leave that alone. It's not for your new
Yep.
friend. And talk about nice light
Right.
things. Talk about what you do for a
Hmm.
living and how you got into that field. But don't go into the to how your life
Right.
story,
I
what
I think
happened
there's
to
a
you,
time
how
and
you
place for it eventually
yes,
when you're getting to a point where
but
you're building
not
something, but not in the beginning.
no, not in the beginning at all. Get to know the person for who they
Right.
are. Don't bring all that extra into
I
it.
agree. This was good. This was really good.
Yeah. It was really good. And I have a feeling that this is going to help a lot of people going forward who are out there dating.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry again, we started a little late this time, but I hope and pray that it helps someone in the dating field, because it's hard out there and it's hard meeting new people, especially the older we get, because we get so consumed with life and grandchildren and jobs and alone time.
Right.
We can get so comfortable. Be careful about loving yourself so much, because you do enjoy spending time with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, you're 65, 70 years old and you don't have anybody in your life.
Right.
So I do believe God wants us to be with
Mm.
someone,
Right.
to be connected to someone that we're evenly yoked
Right.
with. Don't lose those opportunities by being in your home, closed up to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and meet people, bond, get to know
Yeah.
somebody, get to love
Right.
somebody. And so what have you been hurt? Most of us
Have been
have,
right.
but you should not be afraid of going back out there to try
Yeah.
again. So don't be afraid to do so. Share this video, this live, because it talks about dating, and we talk about 50 different do's and don'ts about dating. We're going to have some more shows on dating. John and I and his nephew just did a podcast yesterday about
Mm-hmm.
attraction. Um, you want to talk about your podcast,
Sure.
John?
So my podcast you can find on Anchor. You can find on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. It's called I Just Don't Know, and we kind of tackle a little bit of everything. So we kind of run the gamut of maybe relationships. We may talk about um, video games, movies, just a little bit of everything. But guys, check it out. Also, check out Tanya's podcast called Barbie's Real Talk, and it's also on all those places where you listen to podcasts: Anchor, Google, Spotify, and Apple. It's really good stuff, relationship stuff. You'll learn a lot. You'll get a good laugh. It'll make you think, and check it out.
Yes, I appreciate that. And also, um, watch me on YouTube, Tanya Barbie. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook Live. We're here every Thursday night. And we're doing a lot of good things. And I'm hoping to see you all more. And like me, please, on I Am Still a Rose Facebook page, where we're going to be. I got about 700 friends that are trying to get to friend me on Facebook, and I'm at my maximum. And so I'm asking you to like me on I'm Still a Rose, so we can go from there and still be friends. Hey, Shay in the house. So I want to thank you all. Sorry, you all are just coming in. We started late, but we talked about dating. Feel free to share this video, because I'm sure it's going to help somebody who's out there
Yeah.
dating. Dating doesn't have to be a bad thing. Dating could be a good thing if you learn how to date.
Right.
There's a way, there's a method to
Mm-hmm.
everything. And if you date correctly, you could find the love of your
Yeah.
life. But you got to date with a plan.
Exactly.
You have to date with a
Mm.
strategy. You can't just go out there and be you without knowing the do's and don'ts of
Right.
dating, because you could blow it. First date and you could
Yeah.
blow it, and you don't want to do that. So listen to this, share it, and I hope you find some good stuff here. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, John, as
Most
always, my
welcome.
BFF, my graphic artist. He's awesome. We're working on a lot of projects together. He's working on my website. It's going to be the bomb.
Mhm.
So I look forward to seeing that really soon. We got some products coming out. You want to tell them about the black line? The black.
So we have a
Um,
men's line that we're working on called Black Rose Collection.
yeah.
Specifically for men. We'll have shirts and hats and things like that. So just stay tuned. It's going to be coming down the pipe. We'll keep you guys
Yes.
posted on it.
Yes, and remind me, I want Ronnie McGee to have one because he's always on our lives and talking to us and so engaging. So we got to make sure we send him something too.
Definitely.
All right. Okay. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time. Remember, I am still a rose in spite of it all. No matter what problems we go through, we still have to keep our head above water and know that we're going to get through this because with God, we can get through anything and everything. I love you. Peace. See you next time. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.